for the board to decide as they review this information. This is my review of the project as it stands, and I'll be putting all of this documentation online on its own webpage in the next week or so. That way everyone else can review it as well.
Okay. The cost sheet you put together, was that the 250,000 one? Is that what that was?
I believe it was closer to I believe it was closer to 200,000.
Is that what it was? I just remember one was like 200,000, one was 525 or
So
something like that.
this rendering had a general cost estimation as part of the design package. It was not done through estimation or anything else, and that had a range of, I believe, about 250 to 500.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. It just
And I
had
don't
come
think
up.
it included all of what it now anticipates.
No, and that's what I was pointing out in January. I just wanted to make sure, because that had come up in the boardroom before, hey, we were told we could do this for 250, and there was just no way. All right, so anyway, moving on. Brake retarder, ordinance, and signage. Spoke to PennDOT. They gave us a broad view on their study. Basically, there's no enforcement here. We can go ahead and put these signs out, I think it was.
Yes, PennDOT study supported up to a mile-long district where this could be, posted. So it doesn't, as we heard in previous meetings, that we had a relatively small zone. We can expand that up to a mile, and that's still supported by PennDOT's study.
Right.
But as the chairman, points out, the enforcement is the aspect that, ultimately decides, how effective it is.
Brent Darcy, your next door neighbor. Again, this kind of falls on the side, not in my backyard, it doesn't concern me, doesn't bother me. But I think I can talk to some that live on 73. And I don't know what has happened within the last year or so. The floodgates have opened on Lightford Road. There's going to be a major accident on that road, because there's tractor trailers, dump trucks, whatever. Now, the state police, I think, can sit out there and be the enforcer. You guys don't know what it's like when it comes around fall, when they're trying to get the end of the blacktopping in, and these Jake brakes, which I don't know what goes to their head, they get smiling, but some of these Jake brakes are excessively loud. And it's just not from Saks, it's just not from the guy it's everybody. The other, motorcycles, it's ridiculous. It should be after, because this was approved before, because I brought this up, and I talked to you, and you had some, I couldn't quite get it all because it was at the end of the meeting. But I think you got a sign out there blinking and flashing and all that. That's not, you're just going to have to get the state police to sit out there and monitor it. Well, good luck with it or so, but.
I had somebody try to break in my house. I couldn't even get them to come out for that. So they're not going to come out for this.
Well, they put all right, I agree with you. But after I brought this up the last time, the state came out, but do not pass on the road. So at least it's an initiative, it's something there to start off with. Again, most of you don't know what it's like to listen to this nonsense going on all day long. Now, I hope that you guys kind of, again.
I know what you know.
Pardon?
I said, I know what it's like.
So Mr. Darcy, I did talk to you before about it. What I had said to you was they use the Jake brakes to slow down. In talking with the state, that was their big concern too. If they're not using these Jake brakes, this is a 50-mile-an-hour road out here. Now they're crawling down the road. Now we got people calling and complaining about the traffic and everything else.
I don't believe that would be an issue. Them creeping down the road.
I'm just telling you, that's what their concern was as well, along with the enforcement. We can look into what the state police would like to do. I'm not sure that's going to be what they want to do, but we can
Well,
certainly
you
ask
push
them.
on your side, on whoever goes on this, instead of just saying, accepting what they're saying, and push it a little bit, get it involved, You hardly ever see a state cop around here unless there's an accident. And I lived up here a long time, and they used to sit across at the church. Never see them anymore. You sit out here, people probably here, you know, they almost drag race up and down 73 when they work on their car. So that's my 2 cents.
Appreciate it, Mr. Garcia. Professional engineer, RFP, we're currently reviewing proposals. The Faust Road paving project update, bids due 7/10/24 by 4 p.m. Eastern. All right.
That's fine. Yes, and just a little bit more info before I
Go ahead.
I don't want to steal your thunder. I wanted to remind everyone, as part of this project, and talk, I guess, a happy coincidence or whatever, but one of the line items in there is bioswale construction. And what that is the township is in the MS4 program. You don't have a choice. You didn't sign up.
Right.
Okay, it's not another one of those unfunded mandates. So this is the second permit cycle. Actually, it's the first permit cycle that's now about between year 10 and 12. And back when we started this, I suggested to the township, you know, put a line item in there for MS4 and throw like, you know, 10 grand a year or something like that. So when we get to this point, it doesn't hurt as much. So I haven't looked at the budget. I don't know if it's in there. If it is, great. It'll take an edge off because there's about 45,000 for that particular item. If it's not, the good part about that is it's on the same road. You're not going to be able to get it done any cheaper than we are now when they're already doing work there.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I wanted to let you know. And then once this project is done, we will essentially complete a form on behalf of the township, send it into DEP, and your MS4 requirements will be done. And I can tell you, $45,000 is pennies on the dollar compared to what some municipalities are, you know, they're hundreds of thousands of dollars, $500,000, $750,000 for MS4 stuff, and even municipalities your size. So that's a good thing, okay? And I would encourage you from a stormwater ordinance standpoint to be, I don't want to say aggressive, but certainly don't be passive on that, because the more you do that, the people that are creating the stormwater in development are the ones that are going to have to pay for it, not the residents that are just simply living.
Right.
So that's just kind of my soapbox discussion, but I did want to mention about the bioswale, and now it's
All right.
orders.
So I'm going to make a motion to have LTL review bids received during tonight's meeting and allow LTL to issue a parent low bidder notification letter, provided low bidder is responsible/responsive.
I second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, and then we need to, I want to make a motion for LTL to issue a notice to proceed, provided information required by a parent low bidder notification letter is received and correct.
I second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, and two more quick things. The low bidder, just from a number standpoint, is about where we expected it. Again, we added the bioswale, we expected it to be 400, and then Steve added like maybe 2 other items that brought
Right.
us up a little bit, plus that 45, that's about where we expect it to be. Saxon Sun has done plenty of work in the township, and we've been nothing other than super happy with their work. Lastly, Lisa has had an opportunity to look at the bonds and.
Miss Vicky. She were close.
Lisa's on the phone.
I'm sorry. Vicky got a chance to look at the bonds, and my understanding is everything looked okay.
Yeah, the bid bond's fine.
Okay,
Okay, so we're all good.
perfect. All right,
No, you're fine.
Wait, I have a question about the
you're lucky,
bioswales.
it's a public comment period.
Oh. Oh,
Your name?
it's a
You are?
George.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, the water that's being handled by this bioswale, where exactly does that run off? Where's the main exit for that water?
Okay, you mentioned before, segment 1 starts at Big Road, goes down and stops at Scioto Creek.
Right.
Okay, where it ties into the work that was done last year. Okay, once we, I'm wrong. Little Road, we go down, we cross over a creek. Immediately at that creek on the right-hand side, the bioswale will start. and it will go all the way up, I want to say 450 feet, I'm not positive on that number.
On the same side of the road.
Exactly, on the
Yeah.
right-hand side, there is a swale there that is eroded, you can take a look at it now.
Right,
Okay?
so it's
It will
gonna end
go
up in the creek then?
It'll go into the creek, yes, but the idea is the flow that comes out of the existing outfall area will go through this bioswale feature, which is supposed to be like a bioscrubber, okay? That's what the idea of the bioswale is, before it enters the Scioto Creek. So now you might get more road salts, oils, things like that, and it's supposed to essentially clean those and scrub those out. Because what will happen there, you'll notice it different than a typical roadside swale, is you'll see like the weeds are thicker and higher because there's a certain Ernst seed mix.
And a lot heavier rock.
No, actually no rock. Yeah.
The existing one that I see along Faust, there's big heavy rock.
No, that we had no
Riprap
choice.
in there.
That was riprap, because with bioswale and all that amended soils is gonna wind up right in the creek. You're not gonna slow, when you got a velocity of 10 or 12 feet per second, rock is the only thing that's gonna slow that down.
Yeah. Will the other side have that heavy rock going up toward Big Road?
Big road, toward Big Road.
Well, from Big Road on down to the creek. Would that also have that big heavy rock?
I don't believe, is there a swale there? I don't believe there, if that's, I'm thinking about the same spot.
Yeah, there's swell along there, for sure.
Coming down Big Road to Scioto?
Yeah, there's swell along there,
On the left-hand side there is.
yeah.
Yeah, and what we're doing there is, at the last driveway right there, we're doing an improvement where we're basically taking that, reducing that flow on the left-hand side by capturing it with an inlet, sending it across the road and discharging it to the established creek already. So what that's gonna do is, rather than trying to control all of that flow, we're taking 85% of that flow, sending it under the road and discharging it to an existing outfall area. So at that point, it's going to be a couple guardrails as opposed to something that'll be a significant concentrated flow.
Okay.
And you can catch me after the meeting if I
Yeah.
didn't explain it well, I'll gladly, whatever you need.
No, I'm just curious because, runoff is a big concern.
Absolutely.
And, to me, like you said earlier, if you're gonna do this project, it makes sense to get everything done correctly the first
Yeah,
time around.
absolutely.
Bundle it all together,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yep, I mean, if you take a look at the section of Faust Road that was already done during a heavy runoff and see the difference now as opposed to what it was like. It was a mess before. Now we get that underneath, get to a series of pipes and culverts and channelize it and get it down there where it's controlled with along the road anymore. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any other? Go ahead, Mr. Dorsey.
Right, Doris. If you can go back, I guess it's this 3, the county paving thing that, I'm not sure, is it word? Aaron. Can you go over that? It seems like somewhere there was more housing in not in a, I guess, a low density, and you're taking it and moving to a high density, or?
Yes. When we try this time, I'll try this time and see if I can explain it a little bit better. So there, you have different zoning districts. One is a medium density and one is a high density. So typically the high density is where you would put more units per acre and where you would have your denser developments. And that way you can dictate where they go within the township. So what happened was townhouses or rows, whatever you want to call them, were allowed in the medium district at 6 units per acre. And an analysis was done to determine that those type of units should really be in the high density districts where they can be, again, concentrated and where you expect your higher density to be. So some of the changes that were made had to do with taking them out of the medium density and then revising some of the standards in the high density to lower how many can be per acre, and there's some parking changes and that sort of thing.
Where is the high density?
So the high is right along.
The high is R40, which is predominantly along Big Road here.
Thank you.
If you look around back at the map, it's the orange.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just did my eye exam, so I think I got that.
So the big
It's a long
road,
Route
the
73.
big road gets the bad end of the stick again.
Just because you live there, Frank. No, it's because it's a state road.
Well, so both districts are concentrated along that road. So the medium is the yellow, and then the high is the orange. So both of them are located in that district. It's just a matter of changing where it is that those type of units can go.
But a few years back, the commercial end was down on 29,
Yeah, they took it away from me.
and then they shoved it up here.
But they put it along Route 73. That's smart for a township to do that because it's a state road. The state maintains the roads. Right now, we just opened a bid that's over $500,000 that you guys are paying for. So if we can essentially put the burden on wherever development's going to occur and it's going to be on a state road where the state has to pay, yeah, you're still paying state taxes, but at least it's not trickling this far down to the local economy. It's a smart move.
But on the other end of the hand, yes.
Well, again, it just makes
I
sense.
mean, you moved up here 35 years ago. Now, I know, but it seems like you move up here thinking it's one way, but the township's sitting, trying to see how they can make money. So the people that get along there it's like the trash trucks that go by and the trash flies out. It's the tar trucks, blacktop. That goes by. It's just, it never ends
And
because.
it would be a lot worse if that trash truck was going on a local road and blowing into the woods and stuff like that. I mean, I would disagree with you that the township is trying to figure out how to not spend money. And
Well-
there's the difference. It's along a state road again. You've got
It's all debatable how
29.
you want to look at it.
So the other piece of that though too is, it's not the township looking to make money, but by law, we're required under our zoning ordinance to allow for all different housing types somewhere in the township. So the decision becomes, where do you want to concentrate those uses? There's something in the law that's called fair share, which means you have to allow every type of residential unit somewhere in the township. So the thought was concentrated along the main public road that the state maintains and try to keep the rest of the township more
Sweet.
more urban.
Well, and the other thing, Frank, is I just looked at there, your R60's in yellow, that's along Route 73. So the changes that Aaron's talking about make no effect. There's no change.
It will
In effect,
actually
and
reduce the amount of housing
Well,
stock that is created.
That's important to understand too. Effectively, that change is going to reduce density because you've taken a higher density type of use simply from the number of units per acre and moved it to a higher density zoning district. So you've used that, you're using up your high density ability for something that it was in a lower density use.
So
So
instead
again,
of the
it's a
yellow
good
and
move.
orange back there that you see, it now just becomes the yellow.
Yeah,
So we're actually removing the ability to
yeah.
build more houses.
This is what I ran on, Frank, this right here, trying to limit this. Like I said, the progress is coming, we can't stop it. But as a
I
community, we can
understand that.
dictate what it looks like. And I get what you're saying, you feel like you're getting the short end of the stick. And it does look that way. Yes, sir.
Dave Hanson, I'm not going to stand up. I live over on Locust Lane. We used to be the commercial property. And the reason it was taken away, Frank, was because there was residential houses completely built on the entire property. And that was the reason given when they took it away from us and moved it over here, because it really wasn't commercial property, because it was built up with houses. And that's why they said they moved it. I'm just, I'm not trying to fight with you, Frank,
No,
but that's just what they told me when they took it away from our
Yeah,
property.
I remember it was, I can't remember to get Robert Young and all.
I don't remember who did it, but I remember that was the reason I was given when they changed all our properties over there, was because it was all residential. It was really an unofficial way of saying no commercial property without really doing it.
Frank, moving forward, this is what we're reviewing. This is what I'm targeting right here.
Well, I kind of came in, but I just want to kind of see what's happening.
It's okay.
And it'll be back before the board again, so.
Absolutely.
We can post it on the website so that you'll have an opportunity to actually read through the ordinance, and you'll have an opportunity to come back and provide additional comment if you'd like to.
Anybody else for any more comments? All right, perfect. Upcoming meetings, Parks and Rec, July 16, 2024, 7 p.m. we have another zoning hearing board, July 16th, 2024 at 7 PM. And the planning commission is going to meet July 25th, 24 at 7 PM. 7 PM. Announcements. Mr. Kenny, you said something about the fire department with Goshenhoffen, and I didn't, I just wrote down Goshenhoffen. I didn't get the whole thing, so.
Yeah, we go there, it starts Friday morning, right? We'll be there, we have to park all the cars, even the volunteers this year, we have to be there early. They actually parked themselves in last year in the volunteer section. I don't understand how somebody can put three in front of each other so the guy in the middle can't get out, but they're volunteers, we're gonna work with them, we're gonna park them. We'll be there Friday parking cars, we'll be there Saturday parking cars, and then we have to do security Friday night.
Overnight.
We got overnight, keep somebody there, sleep there. We have a camper coming, we're gonna sleep in that, and then Saturday night too, we have to do security. Usually we find our problems usually Saturday night, we get people visit. When I did security a year ago, 3 o'clock in the morning, we had a truck trying to come in
Okay.
for no reason at all, I don't know, and then when I put my flashlight on, he just kind of wheeled out of there.
Yeah. Anything else with the firehouse? Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin.
One thing with that,
Yeah.
you'll have to close the dog park down during the time that the Goshenhoffens are having that festival, because that's where all the volunteers park.
Okay.
In the dog park.
We have to make that announcement.
And they came to you about closing the road too, because they closed the road.
Oh, this was already discussed, what you're saying?
They said they sent a letter.
Said there was a letter just to make sure you guys know the whole road gets closed.
I do remember that, yeah. Did you have that here?
The road crew normally
I
puts
can
the
get-
signs out.
I can let you read it, I mean.
Yeah, please, and I know Aaron wasn't on the meeting, the email chain going there, and I know Miss Fisher just put Aaron on with Mr. Stiegelman's.
Yeah. We had a meeting with the Goshenhoffens and
Okay.
we went all over this, but, you know, at the time, things were
Okay.
changing to change, so we just.
If you can, you just email Aaron, give him a heads up
Yeah,
what's
yep,
coming down.
yep.
I'd appreciate it.
No
Anything
problem.
else with the firehouse?
Because Steve will know, 'cause Steve's always closed it before, so he'll know,
So he'll be on.
he'll
Okay.
be on it.
Okay. Anything else with the fire company?
No, we're
Volunteers,
moving forward,
always
we're doing pretty well.
Always need volunteers.
Yeah, we were starting to burn them out with the training, so we're slacking off the month of July, going into August, vacations.
Get them off the training, get them on watching. the
That's why
truck.
Stiegelman's gone.
He's a beach fishing. Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I shortchanged Mr. Ed Myers here. He's on a planning commission, but he's been working on a stormwater ordinance too. And I didn't mention him. I mentioned Buck and Bob, and I apologize for that. So I wanted to just give him a shout out. I didn't know he was working on that too. With that being said, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second. I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, good to see you all. Thanks for coming.